Hey guys, Caden here. In this video, I'm going to show you something that most people don't know about, but it got me to 30K a month within my AI agency pretty fast. There's pretty much one way to guarantee that you will actually never achieve a certain amount of money or achieve anything in your life for that matter, and that is from not knowing what you actually want in the first place. And I'm not talking about like the basic 10K a month. I'm talking about like the NASA type calculations to know exactly the trajectory of where the rocket is going to go. Because if you give yourself enough time, enough hard work, you will 100% achieve your goal. You can do some real wizard ass shit with this. All right. Now, a massive reason I was held back so long within my agency journey was because I wasn't specific enough with what I actually wanted. And sure, I was making 10K a month here and there, but it wasn't actually what I really wanted. And I'm going to explain why here in a second. But this actually slowed my progression down a ton because I was building something that didn't actually align with what I actually wanted. Now, why is this so important to actually do? And why does it make such a massive difference? This is the best example I can show to demonstrate this. The majority of people just live their lives like a sailboat that's just blowing in the wind with no direction and no specific end destination in mind. And the majority of people who get into online business or the agency space in general usually do have some sort of direction that they want to go in. Now, here's an example of two sailboats. They both have the exact same end destination that they have to get to. You know, and let's just say it's like a buried treasure or like a hot girl, or it's just like a nasty Fortnite loadout. It doesn't really matter what it is. Sailboat number one has a clear map with exact angles, you know, the longitude and latitude lines and a compass and whatever the fuck else these guys use to read the water and to actually know where they're going. Right? I have no idea what these guys actually do. But regardless, sailboat number two has to read the fucking stars and figure out where he's going and hope that he's going in the right direction. So no matter what, these guys both have to get to the same point. Who's going to get there faster? The question's pretty obvious. Sailboat number one is going to get to his destination a lot faster because he has a lot of clarity of where he actually is going and a map of how he's actually going to get there. And there's only specific ways that this sailboat can actually take to get to that actual destination. Now, sailboat number two is going to have such a much more messy route. It's going to look something like this and struggle a lot more to actually get to the destination, as well as having a much longer journey. And you know, he's not going to actually worry about how he's going to get there. He just wants to get there and he will do anything to actually get there. Now, with this concept in mind and realizing how retarded sailboat number two is, let's not make his mistakes. And let's do what sailboat number one is doing. He has a very clear map of what he wants and how he's actually going to get there. Now, let's relate this to building an agency. Here's an example of sailboat number one if he was an agency owner and what his goal would be. You know, I want to make 10K a month profit every single month after taxes and expenses. And I want it to be guaranteed income. And I want to only have to work 1 to 2 hours a day on my business to achieve this type of income. And here's an example of sailboat number two if he was an agency owner. I want to make 10K a month. Dude, I want to make 10K a month, bro. Now, why is this so important? Because you can only build your business in specific ways that align with your goals and what you truly want in your life. It will give you more of a sense of being fulfilled and that will make doing the work a lot easier. If you're building something that you subconsciously know that you don't actually want, you will have a ton more resistance to actually doing the work and trying to get something done. It will make doing the things that you don't want to do way harder. This was me for a long time within my agency. Sure, I was hitting 10K a month, you know, consistently for a few months and whatnot, but I was working 12 hours a day. My clients hated me. I had terrible service delivery. All of my money was coming through PIF, so nothing was guaranteed next month. I had no recurring revenue at all. All of my clients were leaving me, and I was stressed all of the time. One day, I randomly got DM'd by a past mentor that I had. He just reached out to check on me to see how I was doing, and I told him what was going on within my life and with my, you know, my business and my current problems that I was facing. And he literally laughed. He was literally laughing. He sent a voice note. And he said, yeah, that's a pretty common mistake that people make when they're first building their business. You just need to set your goals specific enough. And poof, this guy just fucking disappeared again into the void of internet money. And they left me undelivered. Like, what the fuck? But I listened to it. I made my goals super specific. I rebuilt my entire agency with this in mind. And then I achieved the new goal, right? All is well. On to the next goal. Now, how do we actually figure out what we want? I think the best way to actually do this is to first figure out what you don't want. Another reason this is helpful is if you're ever feeling unmotivated and you don't want to do the work and like do the shit that you actually know that you need to be doing, you just take a look at the anti-vision board and it will spring you back from whatever hole that you're in. If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you probably do not want your life to look like this, where you're like, you know, fat, you're partying all the time, you're in, you know, your college classes, right? I have nothing against these people, by the way. It doesn't really affect me at all what people choose to do with their lives. And it, you know, I don't really care at all. But, you know, one thing that it's actually kind of helpful because it makes me more money because there's less competition. And I feel like it does a pretty good damn job to help me understand what I absolutely do not want my life to look like. I don't want to be playing video games all the time. I don't want to like live in a shitty house. I don't want to have to like, you know, when I'm driving to work or something like that, I'm driving through like McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts, just like shitty atmosphere, right? And then I go to my work with a cubicle or I just do not want that. And I actually kind of want to stop looking at this because it's making me a little bit uncomfortable. But now just do the complete opposite. Map out every single area of your life and what you actually want to do with it. What you want your family to look like, how you want your health to look like, if you want a good physique, if like depending on if you go to the gym or not, what you want your relationships to look like, how much money do you want to make and how do you actually want to make it. The more specific that you can get with these goals, the better. Like the example of the business goal. The more specifically you make these goals, the less routes you can actually take when you're building your life. But this is actually better because it gives you more of a sense of purpose. Because you're not just working for a business goal, you're working for every area of your life. You have everything completely mapped out and you know exactly where you're going and the steps that you need to take to get there. Every time that you come across a big decision within your life or your business, ask yourself, does it align with my goal? If no, then don't even waste your time doing it. It will only hold you back in the long term. The best way that I can demonstrate this is that there is one trajectory that will take you to your goal. And if you know what decision that you have to make to get there and you say you make a bad decision, you're still like your life is still going to be going forward no matter what. So say you make a bad decision and it takes you off the course to your goal, well then you're going to have to redirect yourself and you're going to have to take up time to get back on path. And that's just how this shit works. Like you constantly just keep going through life and you're making, decisions that might not align with your goal, but those are the decisions that you have to make. And usually, the majority of the time, they're kind of harder decisions to make, but we all have to make sacrifices in our life no matter the situation. Everything has a positive and a negative, but always choose the decisions that is going to align with your goals and who you want to become. I've been able to do this the past few years. Obviously, I didn't always have my goals very, very specific, but regardless, no matter what I had written down, I have achieved it, and I guarantee you that you can do it as well. But I just want to point you guys in the right direction because this shit literally cost me months, if not years, of my online business journey because I was building something that I didn't actually want. It was making the work so much harder than it needed to be because I was legit forcing myself to do it. And subconsciously, I knew that I was building something that I didn't fucking want. But regardless, that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you who don't know, I have a full AI agency scaling framework, basically to help you build and scale your AI agency in 2025. It's completely free. I have all the info in there about how I actually run my agency, which is doing around 30K per month right now. And you have the opportunity to copy and paste the systems that I use. Again, it's completely free to join. I don't really care if you do it or not. Link's going to be in the description, but I'll see you guys in the next video.